Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on our podcast, Moms on the Move. I'm Jen.
I'm Ashley.
Thanks for tuning in. We are obviously just us here today, and we
No
wanted
friends.
to
No friends today.
No one wanted to
No.
come hang out.
No.
We did want to start off for like a minute or two and just truly like thank everybody. We didn't know what to expect by doing this podcast, if it was going to be a big failure or what.
We're still not sure.
We're still not sure, but we have had wonderful, wonderful feedback, and truly I'm just very grateful for it. So we wanted to tell everybody thank you. I had a friend call me, and she said that she felt like one thing really spoke to her. It was when we were talking about getting out of our comfort zone, and that when the podcast came out like live for the first time, and I had my little breakdown emotionally because it was like so vulnerable of a feeling, that she felt like it kind of gave her a little push to go out there with her business.
That's awesome.
And of all the things we've heard back, that just kind of made my whole day. So anyway, thank you. And we want to hear from you. Like, we really want to hear from you. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, just, please reach out and let us know. And wanted to plug one other thing real quick. Obviously, this is just a little podcast, 20 minutes a week.
Yep.
So our day job is real estate. If you want to see any homes or, talk about just what the market's doing, a free market analysis, if you have any questions, what, is going on in the fall with COVID and everything.
Curious. And I get some people who are sometimes just curious. Hey, how much do you think my house is worth?
Yes.
So I'm saying
They're like, hey, this is the Zestimate.
No.
No. Don't do the Zestimate, guys.
Don't.
No.
Yeah, don't Zestimate it.
No.
But I do that all the time. Just, hey, we're not sure if we're going to move. We're also thinking about refinancing.
Oh,
no
yeah.
pressure. Just let you know what we think the house is worth based on comps and solds in the past, 3-6 months or so.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, that's all we're going to say about that. So just know that we're here in that regard. But today we are going to talk, just us again, we don't have friends, about sports.
Sports.
So this was your wonderful idea.
Sure.
And I'm on board for it.
Yeah.
So what did you used to play growing up?
So growing up, when I was littler, I think I did softball, flag football. So I was one of the kids that after school, there was a rec center.
You played flag football?
Yeah, I started out playing flag football. Well, there was a rec center right next to my elementary school. So I had 2 working parents, so I would go to the rec center, and then they would put on little sports leagues. So literally everything, baseball, basketball, played everything. High school, I did the cheerleading thing for a little while.
And then you were like, I want to be on that field instead.
Well, I rode crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I rode crew starting junior year. I left high school a year early.
Because you're smart.
I am.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but like Ashley's actually very smart.
She's actually smart.
You might not think that by looking at her. I'm kidding.
Don't let the poop stories dissuade you. She's actually
very smart, like alarmingly smart. If I have any real estate questions, I'm always like, hey, girl.
Yeah, so I left early. Senior year, I did dual enrollment in college, and then when I was in college in Florida, I didn't row, but when I went to college up in Boston, I did row as well. And then after college is when I played women's semi-pro football. So I've always played a sport. Yeah. I mean, I think I was 5'7" in like 6th grade, and 5'7" in 6th grade, you're not going to be able to walk by a coach and then say, hey, do you want to play?
Right.
Yeah. So What about you?
So we're from New Jersey. Soccer is a huge sport up there. So that's pretty much what I played from 3rd grade until junior year, because I decided to be a troll of a daughter and break my dad's heart on purpose and not play senior year.
You're horrible.
We'll go into that.
Okay.
But yeah, so soccer is huge, and like lacrosse, field hockey.
Okay.
Field hockey.
So I hadn't seen field hockey until I went to a women's college in Boston. And I remember the first week on campus walking by, and there were the girls in the skirts with the mini hockey sticks.
Right.
And I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah. We had a little bit of a thing with the field hockey players. Like, it was like soccer versus field hockey, and we'd be like
a rivalry?
Yeah.
Oh,
a little bit.
Okay.
And we're like, real athletes don't wear skirts. I mean, they were really good, though.
I know. So probably take you out with the little sticks.
Yeah, they probably could. I never played field hockey, so I did like track and soccer, but again, soccer.
Yeah.
was the big one. So when we came down here, I feel like it's not a lot of soccer. Would you agree?
I think it's medium.
Yeah.
I think it's medium because so we've got my kids played over at Mesa in Five Forks.
Right.
Okay, and remind everybody, how old are your kids? And I'll remind.
Okay, so young. So they're 6, 4, and Bo is now 11 months.
Okay.
And we've already had 5 sports. I didn't think we'd be that parent, but I think like once you become a parent, you're like, you have intentions. Like, I'm not going to be that crazy parent putting all their kids in the sports and like on the sidelines. I'm just going to be like real chill. And that hasn't happened.
Okay. So I've got 8, 10, and 15.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of sports and seasons under our belts at this point. And I think like my sports parent style has definitely evolved over the years.
Okay.
So when Tripp first started playing sports, same, we did like a, YMCA T-ball, coach pitch, a little bit of basketball, a little bit of YMCA soccer. And then I feel like there's YMCA and then there's like the next level leagues. So then we started playing like over at Mesa.
Okay.
Started playing.
Huge deal over there.
Yeah,
they
huge
have how many
deal.
Fields? Like
it's crazy.
18 or something?
I don't know. It's bananas.
Yeah, so that's off Anderson Ridge Road.
Yes.
The Mesa Soccer Complex. And it's insanity. One time I didn't know what was happening. If it was like a funeral procession, it was soccer.
It's the tournament. Them trying to get out and to make that. Yeah,
it's wild.
I find it crazy how early kids here specialize in sports. So there's the rec league, and then all of a sudden you're getting pulled out for accelerated leagues or travel leagues to the point where John is 10 and decided he was going to try to go back and play baseball this year, and it's kid pitch now.
Yes.
Forget it. Like these kids played baseball.
Been playing.
That's right. They play baseball every season, all year round, and it's crazy to think at 10 years old you can't jump in and start playing anymore.
Totally agree. We so obviously we have 3 boys each, and we feel like there's so many travel leagues, but you can't do all that and have 3 kids
and work and maintain sanity.
I mean, it's like traveling every single weekend. I don't think that's going to end up being an option for us, honestly. But I mean, the boys now have already played wee ball since they were 3.
So now you're stuck.
We're kind of stuck. But
You're on the travel
it.
lane. You're on the travel team lane.
I like it. Chris is coaching.
Okay.
We had Bennett, who's 6, and Braden, who's 4, on the same team this year. And little Braden is this he's a force. He's like he's this tiny short thing with this deep raspy voice, and he's so competitive. So he's a solid foot smaller than the other 5 and 6-year-old boys, and he's 4. But he's out there. He's hitting it. It's so stinking cute. I can't handle it.
What kind of coach is your husband?
He's tough. Yeah. I think as parents, we vicariously live through our children in sports.
Yes.
And Chris grew up playing sports his whole life. He played baseball in college, and his expectations are just really high. I have to reel him in a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're talking to a 5-year-old. Calm down. He'll just get real specific on what he wants from Bennett, the oldest. And anyway, so then I have to be the cheerleader mom, even though I don't think that's actually me. I'm probably more of my dad growing up. Because I think there's 2 sets of parents. Mm-hmm. There's a spectrum. Mm-hmm. Which one are you?
So when we first started, and especially when Tripp started playing football, I was definitely the parent who was at the fence, what are you doing? Plug the gap. Plug the gap.
If anyone doesn't know, Ashley dropped the bomb the other day. I was like, I had a donut for breakfast. She's like, I used to play women's professional football.
So when he was playing, I would really get into it. How could you miss the tackle? Wrap him up. That you have to wrap him up and make the tackle.
So disappointing. God.
So I used to really get into it, and then one day,
what did Bill do?
Bill, oh my God, we'll get to Bill in a minute. That's a whole special breed right there. He would run the chains, so he was on the field, and I'll get there in a minute. I'm so sorry, Bill. I at least gave him the heads up that this was going to be the topic, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're going to talk about me getting a technical at a church league basketball game?" And I said, "We are." But yeah, so I was that parent for a while, and then finally there was another mom. And when Trip played football, it was the same group of kids year after year after year after year.
Right.
And so you get to know the parents, you get to know all the coaches and whatnot. And one of the parents made a comment one time, and I think it was directed at me, but not directly directed at me, but it really hit home. And they said, when you're yelling at your kid on the sideline, you're just confusing them because they're already trying to listen to their coach. And I was like, oh. I was like convicted.
I got schooled.
Yeah, I totally got schooled. So then I started stepping back. I sit. I don't, I'll be like, yay, good job. But I don't yell at the kids. I mean, just the other day, Matt, my 8-year-old, he's playing coach pitch, and we played another team, and it was that coach and those parents.
Yes.
So we're talking 7, 8-year-olds, and there was a dad on the other team who was like, GD, Garrett, why can't you hit the ball? And I was like,
wow,
let's
bring
like
it in.
Bring it down a notch.
Yeah.
Garrett's 7 years old. Poor Garrett. I
Garrett.
know. Even me, I was like, you go, Garrett. Good job, baby. I felt like
Garrett, you're the MVP.
I felt like I was going to have to compensate for his own parents.
Right. I do. That's what I think parents do.
Yeah.
So there's one, like this was us growing up. So there's my mom. She is truly like the sweetest human on earth. I wish I could say I was more like my mom. I could go onto that soccer field, just like pick my nose and sit down, and she'd be like, oh my God, honey, you did so good. What do you want for dinner? Anything you want. My dad was very, I guess, like looking back now, like realistic. Like if I wasn't out there giving it 150% every time, we would get in these like knockdown dragouts. Like, I didn't come here and leave work early for you. Sorry, Dad. I'm gonna.
It'll come back.
Okay. So anyway, and then I'm like, I didn't ask you to come. That's the kind of fun high school conversations we had. But anyway, so then all that to say, like senior year, I was like, wow, I'm gonna screw the man. I'm not playing.
Taking my ball and I'm going home.
So I have a feeling karma is like gonna do a full circle. So the other day, Bennett and Braden, they were playing their t-ball game. And again, little Braden is so competitive. He was trying to beat Bennett running back to home plate. Mm-hmm. He skipped third. So Chris, the coach, was like, Braden, you got to hit third base. He lost it. Yeah. Refused to play the rest of the game. And instead of so at first I walked over and I was like, come on, buddy. It happens, being all supportive. And then I was like, oh, you better get back in there. In my head.
I didn't leave work early.
I didn't leave work early to come here for this. And then I'm like, oh no, it's happening. I've always been a mini dad, mini Mike, I call it. But I hear myself already and I'm like, oh man, I got to rein it in. But karma, Dad, it's happening.
It's so true.
And he's going to laugh the whole time.
It's so true. So my husband and his father, my father-in-law, coach church league basketball for my middle son. And John, or my middle son, Bill says he's exactly like John is headstrong. Mm-hmm. If John doesn't want to do something, John ain't doing it.
Right.
And it's all done on John's terms.
Right.
So
the middle son, you said?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. That coupled with Bill and his dad coaching has been interesting.
Yes.
So I'm all about coaches that have high expectations. Mm-hmm. I think that is really important. I think one of the great lessons of playing sports is the whole aspect of grit, where you're tired at practice, you think, I cannot run one more sprint or suicide or whatever. I just can't do one more. And then you do one more, and then you do one more, and you do one more. Yeah. And it teaches you, here's where I think I am at, but I'm actually way up here. So I think that is really important. And I think it's important for a coach to bring that out in a kid. But they have to do it in a way that is can be tough, and I'm okay with a coach. If you especially at the high school level, where Tripp's playing high school football, I'm all about a coach getting in a kid's face and be like, you really missed that block,
right? But
you have to build that trust ahead of time, where they know you truly care about them and you're coming down on them because you know that they can do better. So I think there's a fine line. Yeah. Whereas Bill in basketball can sometimes. So I'll text him.
This is like an assault on our husbands and fathers.
No. So I'm on the other side. He's with the team over here, and I'm sitting on the bleachers, and I have to text him. I was like, Calm down. Sit down. Right. Sit down. Breathe.
Yeah.
This is church ball.
Yes.
Right. So he has gotten a technical thrown on him because he literally cannot stop himself. He
That's
cannot stop
hilarious.
himself. Where he's like, ref, and I'm like, stop yelling. You're setting the example for your children.
Yep.
Back it down.
I know.
And he's like, I'm teaching them to stand up for what's right. I was like, no, you're teaching them to mouth off to the referee. Like,
It's hard it's hard to forget that you're not involved. Like, you're not the one
Yeah.
playing, but
Yeah.
it's really easy to get lost and
Yeah.
think like, I'm in the middle of this too.
yeah.
Because like Bennett will be, I'm very, very involved, and like I need to be the one that's like, oh, good job, honey. Like,
Yeah.
great job picking your nose out there. What do you want for dinner now?
Yeah, and I've become that way. Over the years, I've
That's
definitely
good.
become that way. And one of the big things is, y'all ready for some deep truth here?
Oh yeah.
Your child's performance in sports is not a reflection of your parenting. So if your
Ah.
child sucks at sports, you're probably still a good parent.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think some people internalize that.
Yeah.
Where my kid is out there sucking for the whole team. It is somehow a reflection of me as a parent, and it is not.
Right.
It is not.
It's true.
And I think there needs to be like a disassociation sometimes between parents and kids at sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's meant to be fun and healthy. I think it's so healthy for kids, because if kids are doing sports, they're not doing other things.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Chris is we're making a very bad financial decision right now. And I keep telling him, I'm like, from a real estate standpoint, honey, we will not get this money back. But he's basically making Frankie's Fun Park in our backyard.
Oh.
So we just cut down all these trees.
Okay.
He's building a basketball
Oh my God.
court
Okay.
/ baseball field. It's a different kind of material where it's both. And then he's having like a big wall ball section. And I'm like, oh, like, is this for the boys?
Is this for you?
Or is this for
To
you?
the big boys?
If Bill wants
Little
to
boys.
come play. Anyway, so I don't know who it's for.
So what is wall ball? You lost me there.
Okay, so wall ball is you literally throw a tennis ball and you keep
With your hand or a
yeah,
racket?
with your hand.
Oh.
I guess you can do a racket too.
Okay.
But he's like, he has grand visions, because I was like, we're never gonna get our money back. And he's like, it's not about that. It's about having like the boys at our house and their kids coming to our house, and if they're coming here, we know where they are, and we'll have this forever. And I mean, I get it. Wah, wah.
I can get that too. So I had a former client, who's a financial advisor, and his daughter plays travel volleyball, which is a big thing here. It's a big thing here in Greenville. And when I say travel volleyball, I'm not talking like an hour away. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 hours away for tournaments, hotel stays, tons of practice.
Yep.
And when he told me the price that they were paying for this travel volleyball, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And his joke was, when you show up for the sign-up night, they're like, every single one of our players ends up getting some type of college scholarship. He's like, he's like, I'm a financial advisor. I've done the math. You could just put that money in a savings account and probably pay for all of college. So
Right.
I get it. There's that balance in
I
there
know.
of the amount of money you're spending on it, and what is the return on investment. And for me, the return on investment is they're most of the time having a good time. There's going to be days
Correct.
where you're not going to have a good time at a game. You're
Yes.
going to, but taking that, that we just lost a huge game. I'm extremely disappointed. And then the next day, putting the gear back on and going back out and doing it. I think that's a really important lesson for the
Yeah.
kids to learn.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be fun. Work isn't always fun. Life isn't
Right.
always fun, but you
I
got to
know.
pick it up and wait for that next moment where you do get the big win and you get to high five and lose your mind that, you just won the game at the last second type
Right.
thing. Yeah.
So like for parents that are not from here or they're moving here,
Yes.
what's like the advice do you feel like that, like, I mean, I feel as if like signups, you have to do signups early.
So early. That
Yeah.
took me by surprise. When
Yes.
when we moved to your trip, my oldest was just going into kindergarten, and it was when we moved here, I think it was like right around summertime. And I thought, oh, okay, fall sports. So, I'll start taking a look at in like August. Yeah, I missed it. I totally missed the boat on signing everybody up, because by the time
It's almost like May.
by the time fall is done, they're already registering for spring. By the time spring is almost done, they're already registering for fall. So if you're not from Greenville and you're moving here with kids,
It's true.
you really got to be looking 3 or 4 months out for sports sign up, because they do it early here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Ys, we have a lot of good Ys, and that's not across the board, I don't know if like you can say that in every city, but they're like nice. We have Adams Mill, we have Kane Halter. They have a lot of the sports, and Chris is now coaching flag football. So that started. And so I was actually at a listing appointment, and so I couldn't go to the first one. So he had to bring Braden, so I told Braden that he was the assistant coach.
Aww.
So little Braden in his deep husky voice, he's like, Bennett, I'm your assistant coach. I need to show everyone Braden's little voice.
Yes,
it's
please.
So funny.
You have to put something up on like the Facebook page or something.
Yes. It's like, it just doesn't match him. Like, I don't know where it comes from. It's just this deep, deep voice. So everything he says is just like funny. Yeah. But anyway, so we have that tonight actually. Okay. So Braden will be the assistant again.
Well, Trip's playing high school football, and their team is making it to the state playoffs. So tonight they're doing like a big bonfire. Oh. So it's his first like high school pep rally bonfire thing. Oh, that's so fun. I know. He's super excited.
Glory
and
days.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I remember back, and he's hitting those times. So it's been a fun thing to watch him go through all that.
No, I always remember like the spaghetti dinners. Did you used to do that?
No.
Oh, before away games in soccer, we'd have a spaghetti dinner at someone's house. Yep. Carb overload. Why isn't that a thing now?
Because you'll catch COVID.
No, but carb overload. Like, why isn't that a thing?
Because it's probably not really accurate anymore. I think the science behind that, like eating two giant bowls of pasta the night before you're about to be at your peak physical self, is probably not accurate.
I did do that before. I did a half marathon a few years ago, and I was like, I need like 18 bowls of spaghetti. I think no wonder I woke up the next day not feeling so hot.
Yeah. Just don't carb load anymore. It's not a real thing.
Well, darn, that's upsetting.
I mean, you can keep telling yourself that. Like,
yeah, I need this.
Pre-podcast, like carb load.
Yes, for sure. So I asked my friends, like, I told them like what we were about to do for the podcast. I was like, do you have any like funny stories, like sports related? She's like, my one friend at home, she actually reminds me of you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. She's hilarious. So she's like, no, not really. I mean, just like, my dad's a psycho, and he, in 5th grade, like called the whole other team a bunch of little ales. And I was like, that's not really funny.
Like in front of them, or like, oh no.
Welcome to New Jersey.
I know. Parents, let's dial that back. They are like
reel it in, guys.
They're children. Let's keep that in mind. Yep. They are children.
So anyway, New Jersey. That'll be New Jersey for you. My mom actually the other day said, our state was voted most hated. I was like,
gee,
that's a great accolade.
I mean, I'm from Florida, so I mean, we're not.
That's true.
We're not too far behind.
No, you're not. This has nothing to do with sports, but the Florida man.
Yes.
That is hilarious. So if you don't know what we're talking about, you Google your birthday plus
Florida man.
A Florida man. Uh-huh. Or a Florida man plus your birthday.
Yeah.
And absurd stories pop up. It's amazing. I mean, you could just go on, and that could be your entertainment.
It's a special place. It's a special place for special people.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't
really either. I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe it's the heat, and it just fries our brain cells a little bit. I'm not sure, but it's legit.
So we're a winning team. So New Jersey and Florida. Ooh.
Florida's a mess.
It's a shame. It's amazing we actually have any viewers.
I know. Well, we were checking before this podcast. We were checking where some of our views were coming from. We apparently have a Russian fan base.
Russian fan base, and Ireland. One in England.
Yeah.
So, but the Russian.
I'm like, what is that? Is it like my wide childbearing hips? Like, I don't know.
It's a little terrifying, though.
It
to be
is.
honest.
I know.
We also were shown like,
or they're like, look at these dumb American women.
Yes, the times people were watching.
Yeah.
Most were 10 a.m.
Yeah. Which I get. Drop the kids
I get
off.
It.
Let's
I get that
scroll.
One. Yeah, like get your morning done. It's a little break mid-morning. 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
1 a.m. What's going to put us to sleep? Mom's on the move.
This will definitely knock me out.
This will knock us out. Yeah.
So we appreciate you
So
all.
thanks, guys. Thanks, friends in Russia,
Ireland.
Ireland, and England.
There you
The
go.
Wimbledon. We
We're
had a
here for you.
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
We had someone on the East Coast.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Yep.
Several on the East Coast and mostly
Greenville
South
area.
Carolina. So yeah, that was funny seeing that.
If you are our Russian friend or our
Please let
Irish
us
friend,
know.
yes, please let us know. Maybe we can like Skype you in or something. I'm curious how
I'm
that.
so curious. I
Yeah.
hope it's not like a creepy dude.
It's totally a creepy dude.
I just was like imagining like a little Russian woman.
No,
It's not.
it's not.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna dream then.
Awesome.
Don't break my heart right now.
Oh, I know.
But anyway, I know we didn't have our friends today.
No friends
so,
today. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah, I'll be your friend too. We want to thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions about sports or anything or feedback, funny stories,
Yes,
we're
if
here
you've
for
got
a
a
funny
good
story.
yeah, if you're going to post up the page, the group, if you've got a really good parent sports story,
Yes,
drop
please
it in
let
there.
us know.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for tuning in. We have some special guests lined up, and we are very excited for what's to come. So thanks, everybody, and we will see you next time.